Hello.
Whoops. I can put on headphones, Rio.
Okay.
Get headphones. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Good, 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 good. Hmm.
I still can't see me.
Really?
Yeah. I
You
don't. It's
can't.
probably something wrong on my settings that I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you can't see you, but you can see me.
Yeah.
That's weird. I can see you. Whatever.
Oh well. I'll just
Oh
watch your
well.
beautiful face.
Well, it looks good from here. So I got some software that actually does what I want it to do.
Cool.
And this is great because it's giving me an output preview as we're talking, so I can see what it's recording as we go. That's nice.
Cool.
Yeah. Uh, and we're side by side. Yay.
Wow. I'm excited to see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Because I can't
Um,
see it now, but oh well.
yeah, well,
That's cool. That's great.
yeah.
Then I don't do that silly thing where you're just like watching yourself all the whole time. You know?
I pretty much do that every time.
I know. I don't have that option this time, so I'll be just super authentic.
Well, just, have faith that you look good.
I'm sure. I'm doing good on the whole embodiment thing these days.
You know, I don't know where I am.
Really?
Yeah, I just put in, I got paid on Friday and I had 28 hours of overtime on my paycheck. And it's just been, I mean, part of that is orienting. I'm training right now in the emergency room. And
Whoa.
yeah, yeah. And I'm waiting to hear back right now to see if the facility will front me the money to get my SANE training. Do you know what that is?
Sexual assault.
Yes. The nurse examiner stuff, the forensic nursing stuff. And
Good.
so, yeah, yep. And because there's scholarship, there's grant money through the state of South Dakota. And so I need to get on it. I've been wanting to do that for, that's part of the reason I became a nurse in the first place. So,
Good.
yeah, that's happening, but it's like, yeah, I'm working so much. It's like trying to find my bearings again. I'm just fucking work-life balance. Does that exist? Does it? Does it exist with
I
like
don't
kids in a
know.
like full-time like
I doubt
institutional
it.
employment? I don't understand it.
Sounds quite unlikely.
I feel like balance is a little overrated.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten to a point of surrender with the extremes in my life
Yeah.
lately. I'm like, I've really lost attachment to trying to create contentment or balance, and I'm just riding the waves because it's been just like major extreme nar and then euphoria, and yeah.
Well, especially on the road and like all the life changes that you've had.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's like mundane, just the mundane. But there's like extremes in that too, because you're like battling isolation and then, trying to move, there's a
You're
lot of
selling your plates.
uncertainty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Like I still have five sleep boogers.
Did you sleep in today? It's noon.
I did. I slept till like 10.
Oh,
I went out dancing last night. Had 2 drinks.
yeah.
Yep.
I got a little day drunk yesterday because Kyle and I went out for a lunch date and then sat at the brewery and just talked and talked and caught up and actually had a really good date that wasn't like, getting all the fighting we have in our system out, because we have no time together. So
Yeah.
it was so good. But
Good.
I probably drank a little too much.
Yeah. I've been having a lot of fun with boys back in Boise.
Yay.
Actually, and in
Good.
Nevada City.
Nice.
Yeah.
What
It's
are the
been fun.
boys like?
I've been playing and having playfulness.
That's good. I
What
miss
are the
that
boys like?
sometimes. Yeah, what are the boys like?
All the ways. I think we need to get down to business and we can talk about boys another time just because I have so much shit to do. But I'll tell
Okay.
you all about the boys
Yeah,
at
I want to
another
hear about the
point.
boys.
I promise. The boys are all different ways.
Um,
Most of them are overly sensitive and emotional, and like I tend to really go for people that are really depressed
yeah.
or just getting over like suicidality or depression.
Oh dear,
Where I'm like
yeah.
this cheerleader, where I'm like, embodiment's great, and they're
Feel
like, I don't
yourself.
know.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it's been fun. I've really been appreciating the ways that different relationship dynamics bring out different parts of my personality
Uh-huh.
and meet different needs, like how diverse the range is,
Right.
and being able to actually explore that entire range of motion as a single person, um, and have meaningful connections. It's been good.
Good. I'm happy for you. Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna live vicariously through you because it's so far away
yeah,
from
from your reality,
from my
totally.
reality.
Yeah,
Or like, I'm just doing the heteronormative thing right now, and I have to
yeah.
remember there's no reminders, right
Definitely
now, like
almost
where
all the
I'm
boys
at.
I've been dating are queer, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
nice.
I don't date women, but I do date queer boys.
I mean,
Who are really fucking
I'm
girly.
sure that's really fulfilling of that. I know how that is. I mean, my ex-husband
Oh,
was just he was out here for 5 days, and they're
yeah.
so different. Like Kyle and my ex are so totally different. And, it was just funny to be kind of like immersed in that energy again and just be like, wow, I'm so far removed from, from that, just, what that brings out in me and kind of, what I get reminded of and just everything, all of it. It's good, but it's also like it's so I'm I'm just in another place entirely, and I'm okay with it, and like it feels good to like see it, be a part of it for a few days, and realize that I do choose what I have. And I think that like the isolation part like really gets under your skin and starts making you really doubt like whether or not certain things are choices or obligations, and you really kind of forget like there's no contrast, right? So you forget that the things that you have are what you've chosen, and it's not like a continual choice. It's like it feels like
Yeah.
you just get stuck in it, until you have that contrast back, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, right, okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, anywho, so let's get
I
on
should
with
look
it.
at what the dates are in Nebraska while we're
August 19th, 20th.
okay.
It's a Saturday, Sunday, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I know that.
yeah. Yep. And then I got to boogie back like pretty much the next day because I have an advanced ACLS, advanced cardiac life support on the
Yeah.
22nd. So I've
I
got to
gotta
go.
head
I got to.
west too. I gotta make it to my friend's wedding on the Oregon coast.
Oh, do you? When's
I
the
mean,
wedding?
it starts Friday night.
Oh, okay. You've got a boogie.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's
It's a it's
okay.
a it's a 3-day thing. So if I don't make it till Saturday, it's not a big deal.
Sure.
Or Sunday even. But I'm gonna try.
But you want to.
Cool. Do you wanna do interview first, or do you wanna do the little like testimonial blip that my
Oh,
friend can edit out for
gee.
like why I need to come to Nebraska in the first place? Or do you
Well,
think that will just kind of like weave into the interview anyway?
yeah, I just want to,
What
I just want to dish, I just want to dish about it,
dish?
um, and, my version, I want to just keep it as raw between you and me, like, what you and I bring and the potential for the space, give people a good feeling, because you and I have a good feeling together, and I like it.
And you're to be anchor, which is something that, so somebody did pass out doing cervical self-exam in my last class.
So tell me more about that.
People store a lot of trauma in their vaginas sometimes, and she was triggered, and it was really great that I had the anchor person that I did who has trauma-informed training as a sexological body worker. So I'm really glad that actually all of my classes I'm going to have some kind of healthcare provider ally, like anchor person with me, just to be like reading the crowd and able to hold space more than just be completely in a receptive student space.
Right.
So,
and that is nice. I mean, for me, it's like, I have some context for the work that you do and what you're bringing in, and a lot of it stuff that I have held space for before, and so it's not going to be like brand new material for me, so I'll be able to kind of ground and kind of take a bird's eye, like, kind of stay above and
share and share when you want to, which everybody's invited to, but like extra such, like, that's why it's called a skill share, not a training.
Yep.
So I'm stoked
which I'm
that your
excited
skills
about. Yes, and it's been so long. I mean, for me, it's like I've been immersed in the the institutionalized version of all of this, and haven't been focused on women's health or reproductive sexual health. I'm like the weirdo nurse that has like uteruses on her phone case, and I bring it to work, and everybody looks at me weird. And it's like, but that's my reminder. Like, this is where I come from. This is my background. This is my love and my home. This will always be my home. Like coming home. So this will be a really good like coming home for me, and like returning to the juicy stuff for me. I'm excited about it. But you've been. So just to provide a little bit of context.
Are we gonna like have a moment of startness?
Yeah.
Or are you just gonna?
No, I just think that we should just flow right into it. Because
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I don't want to edit too much out.
Okay.
So you have been, but like, so for contrast, you've been doing this, like you've been immersed. This has been like a number one on the table for you for how long?
What's this?
The reproductive, sexual health, holding space, doula work, womb sovereignty.
My whole reproductively adult life.
Yeah.
And puberty. I mean, I always joke that my very first doula job was helping somebody put in a tampon.
Yeah.
When I was 11 years old, somebody asked me how to put in a tampon, and she didn't know what the difference between her vagina and her urethra was, so I told her, and like stood outside the bathroom stall and made sure that she felt comfortable touching herself and that it was placed in a comfortable position. And then I ended up working at Planned Parenthood. That's like next year at the age of 12. Like started volunteering at Planned Parenthood.
I didn't know they let 12-year-olds like into the place. I mean, I'm sure they let 12-year-olds into the place, but
I actually just ran into my theater and speech teacher from junior high school at the Boise Co-op last week, and it was because I was in the advanced speech class that I ended up at this youth lobby weekend with a whole bunch of different activist, non-prof organizations tabling at the youth lobby weekend, training teenagers to lobby with legislature on issues that pertain to them.
Good, yeah.
And I just happened to end up at the Planned Parenthood table and became a volunteer there and trained to lobby with legislature. The first thing I did with Planned Parenthood was lobby against the parental consent bill, which prevent teenagers from having access to abortion without their parents' consent, which in the state of Idaho, at the time, I don't know what the stats are now, but at the time we were 7th in the nation for incest.
Wow.
And 4th in the nation for teen pregnancy. So making it so that people had to ask their parents' permission to abort the child that a family member may or may not have impregnated them with creates a lot of challenge and potentially violence.
Yeah.
So that was like my entryway into reproductive justice. But I started studying Christian Northrup's book, Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom, in junior high school, watching my mom and my sister have really painful relationships with their uteruses and wanting to have something different for myself. I was just like, I think that it's supposed to feel good. Yeah. I think that there's some way to have a good time having a uterus and a vagina.
Right.
And I'm going to figure it out by reading, by studying.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my entry point. I started attending births when I was 19. I started attending abortions as a support emotional person when I was 16. And yeah, I just turned 31 last week, so it's like over half my life this has been.
So when I first heard like the term abortion doula or full spectrum doula was when I first became a doula back in 2009, 10. So, and that was kind of when the vernacular of that was part of the, like, became kind of more towards the surface. And so you've been doing it longer than anybody, I think, has been really even talking about it, right? Like you were doing it like unofficially. I don't know. I mean, it seems like a lot longer than, I mean, I'm sure you would never say this about yourself, but you were probably one of the, you know, the first people to kind of break ground in that. However, I know that women have been, you know, supporting each other for ever. You know, it's not a new thing, but, you know, making sure that it is a thing and it is educated and people know that it's a service and it's available and it should be available. You know, I think like that's how I found you. And actually it was like my experiences with Planned Parenthood, which weren't all positive, and trying to find, like, you were the first person that I was aware of talking about some of the issues that I had experienced there in a way that didn't attack the institution itself or didn't attack the need for their services, but still really like challenged better care and really like challenge those institutions to provide holistic support instead of just this bare bones, like really kind of like, oh, it just, you know, it feels like the argument is like, this is the best we have, like this is all we have and we have to appreciate it and we have to defend it no matter what. And being able to critique it in constructive ways was so important to me. And it was important to me when I found your perspective of that, because I felt really alone in that. And I felt attacked in a lot of ways when I tried to bring those issues up. So, I just, you know, you have so much to offer people who may not have necessarily had positive experiences, you know, in their reproductive health in environments that are, you know, supposed to be supportive or supposed to be feminist or supposed to be women-centered or whatever, and then they go there and they're not, or they go there and it's like half-hearted and doesn't treat the whole person. And you know, in a lot of my experiences, it was just like I got shuffled through that system just like I had been shuffled through every other system. And it really left me wanting a deeper, like, resources for a deeper connection to myself. And like, I want to feel fucking connected to the resources that I'm using. Like, I want to feel really like I want a profound relationship with the people that are on my team, on my healthcare team. I want people, like, I want to feel really like profoundly supported in all those ways. And I know I wanted that as a 14-year-old, and I want that now as a 30-year-old. And It's just, you know, I see a lot of people really wanting that and not knowing and saying that it doesn't exist. Such a weird time where we're having to defend all these super basic things, like super duper, like basic things that,
Well,
go ahead.
yeah. I mean, so when you say that I was, doing abortion doula work before it was cool, before it was,
I mean, I
before
don't
there
want
was
to say that,
more,
but
yeah, well, it's true. Before there was like, before there were collectives and there was an online presence and social media talking about it and things like this.
right.
I mean, it's really how I even feel about attending birth and how I feel about helping that gal with her tampon. Um, like beyond criticizing the institutions that exist or demanding that they improve and
Right.
provide better care with informed consent, with continuity of care, with like truly compassionate witnessing, which is all very important. I think that where the heart and soul of my work is around this reality and this concept that we need to stop looking to institutions
Yeah.
to take care of us and start looking to one another,
Right.
right? Like to take individual responsibility for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and then also as community members and as humans to be able to take care of ourselves and one another in a grassroots community way where it's not this like hierarchy
Right.
and this like top down structure
Mm-hmm.
where you're looking to somebody else to diagnose and treat you constantly, where there's a level of self-awareness and self-responsibility so that when you do go for care, if it's not an emergent state of care, which does exist, right? Sometimes there's emergencies. You're training to work as an ER nurse, and like people that are in acute trauma and emergent
Right.
situations like are not going to be making completely informed consensual decisions every step of the way.
Right.
But the vast majority of human health, and particularly our fertility and our sexuality, it's not a fucking emergency. Excuse me, I said that fuck word. Oh, it's not an
Like
emergency.
freely F words.
Yeah. So we need to stop treating all of our healthcare as if they're like, as if ovulating is an emergency,
Right.
right?
Right.
As if being in labor is an emergency.
Right.
Like all of these aspects of our fertility and our sexuality are treated like pathologically and clinically
Right.
in this situation as if like this other person needs to make decisions for you or
Right.
tell you what's wrong, as opposed to teach you how to be self-aware and figure out what's good for you and make a decision that's based on
Absolutely.
your own inner wisdom. So yeah, that was roundabout, but coming back to this reality where it's incredibly important and valuable for us to have access to medical care when we need medical care.
Yep.
Right? Absolutely. However, let's stop medicalizing fertility and sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stop pathologizing those things. Let's take personal responsibility and let's take care of each other in a loving way.
Yeah.
That's non-hierarchical.
Right. And radicalizing what it means to have a healthcare team. Like, what does that team look like? And, for me, that I'm very much entrenched in the hierarchy of what that looks like. And, and I see at the same time, as a nurse, I'm the one working with the families on a daily basis. I'm the one communicating, facilitating communication, everything. And seeing the outcomes that happen when people don't have strong support, when they don't have strong resources for education, and they've made it to 65 without understanding, the chronic disease processes that are occurring. Or, it's like, God, so many times I wish I could have reached people 30 or 40 years ago just with that, like, basic empowerment education. Like, I know, like, for me, empowerment is such a sticky word because you're never giving that to people. It's like bringing them out, helping them really discover their truth, which is really just like my job as a facilitator. It's like, no, I have to tell people that are entrenched and really like
So hard.
So used to that system, so used to operating and receiving those resources and receiving the messages, like what they should do or what their choices should be, really getting people, like, I'll say jokingly, people really kind of react like it's like I'm saying it jokingly, but I'm so dead serious when it's like, no, you're the boss. Because I get so many people telling me, looking at me from a hospital bed saying, well, whatever you think. It's like, no,
Yeah.
you're in charge. You're in
the boss.
charge. You're the boss.
Yep. There's your
Like,
sovereignty.
yeah. And, I've had patients say, well, stuff like, I know it's your job to do whatever the doctor says. It's like, no, that's half of it. Half of it is to advocate for you and to do whatever you say. It's your body, this is your room, this is your hospital stay, it's your health. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And I feel like there are elderly people who have looked at me and like I'm speaking in alien, just it blows their mind. And I feel like, reproduction and fertility and, sexual health is such, it really is fertile ground to really build on those habits. And, as a nurse and a doula, I've always been taught that like pregnancy and is the perfect time to really teach new habits because people are super engaged. And people want to.
It's so crazy to me. It's so late in the game.
I know.
You're making an entire other human.
Right.
For that to be the time that you start caring about your own body being based so hugely on the fact that you're creating another body. I mean, whatever gets you into the game, like, awesome. But I think we need to start with ovulation and menstruation, not with pregnancy and birth.
Well, for me, right? As a mama of little girls who are like, touching themselves when I change their diapers, it's like, for me, it starts then. For me, it totally starts then. I mean, that was my entry point. My entry point was like masturbating when I was 5 and finding my clitoris, and like being the 8th grader who was like self-harming, and all I knew was that I wanted to grow up and have a ton of sex and make myself feel better. And with all of my daddy issues and mommy issues and whatever, and like using sex as an outlet, and then having a bunch of trauma and having to recover, and then being a pregnant person and seeing that, like, that was my opportunity to really step in and take charge and choose a midwife and have a physiological birth and all of that stuff and become a doula. I mean, I was teaching menstruation and sexuality on a community level, with free school and stuff before that. But for me, it was like, oh shit, like coming to really an embodied place and really seeing like I have to meet myself where I'm at as a pregnant person, as a very angry pregnant person, and knowing that was like my make it or break it. I was either going to get on board and do it or not. And who knows, with my story and motherhood being a trigger in and of itself, and postpartum depression and all of that, it's like I had to. So, I mean, it is so much like meeting people where they're at, but also like prevention. How do we intercept? And I don't know. I mean, obviously, like, better than most people that there needs to be more resources, and how can we provide those? And like,
it's community. It's familial and it's cultural and it's community issues, right? It's not. I mean, telling people what a doula was for so many years.
Yeah.
Like trying to tell people what a doula was without having it address the negative was really hard for me for many years, right? The negative of like, well, it's a commodified version of your auntie or sister or mama who just actually is emotionally and physically supporting you through this profound process.
Right.
And understands it. And like the reality of the fact is that the the profession of doula would not exist if we had an intact, healthy culture and society.
Right. And that
right, the
ecology.
commodification of like pretty much everything that I know and do is a result of a lack within our culture and our society. Is not it's not healthy for these things to be paid services. It's something that like, you have a uterus, you should know the things I know. It's not like,
so here's like,
without shitting on people.
Well,
right? Which is because it's such an issue of privilege and access, and I was born into a state of privilege where I was able to spend all of this time and energy reading. Like, I don't have credentials, I haven't gone to institutions or bureaucracies for my information, but I have been studying and like, anyways. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
Well, for me, it's like, okay, so the big question is, you're aware of this huge debate in the birth community, in, you know, everywhere, in the radical space, everywhere, between like sustainability and being able to sustain your practice and charging for it and existing within a capitalist model. And then, you know, like, and providing access. I just want to like acknowledge that and kind of set it aside. And my question is like, you know, it's like, back to what you said about commodifying community and providing, like, boxing things into a service that should be just part of the ecology that we all have a birthright to, like
human ecology.
So like, does providing that service, I mean, obviously we need it. It's a good short-term solution, and I see what you doing as like coupling that with like rebuilding that ecology and rebuilding that community and planting little seeds, you know, like on your tour and stuff. And so like the question that popped into my mind was like, are we adding to the problem by providing these services, and are we filling in space that really needs to be filled in with something else? Or like, how can we do it in a good way that, you know, like you say, you know, like rebuilds that ecology, like provides a little bit of fermentation instead of just being this like transactional experience?
I mean, it's yes, and the reality is that we do live in this society. I do need to pay my phone bill. I do need to put gas in my car and pay my insurance. And this is my calling. This is my role in a community, right? Like, I was doing it since I was 12 years old, since way before I had any idea that I would make a living doing it.
Well, and even like traditional models, you know, healers, there was, on a level, it was a transactional experience. Everything really.
My housemate is listening to music. Is it affecting your hearing very much?
I mean, I can hear it, but I can hear you too. It's not, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure how it'll come across the recording.
I hope it'll be cool. So, but yeah, I mean, I'd like to take the kind of conversation and segue into, like, I'm coming to Nebraska. To teach people how to tell when they ovulate. And I'm also in Detroit and to Kansas a week from today. Right now, I will be in Kansas doing the Womb Sovereignty Skillshare, which is my answer to like how to rebuild this. I love that you took the word ecology into it, this human ecology and this community health reality, where I provide individual consultations, one-on-one and sovereignty sessions, and I work with clients and get paid for that. But the education piece is really a huge part of my passion, and being able to talk to a group of people in a community and be like, hey guys, here's some information, here's some skills, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Like, this isn't just my job, this is your job.
Right.
This is your job to take care of yourself, and it's your job to take care of each other. And I totally want to provide guidance and love and support and information for you. But my ultimate goal is creating more support for individual sovereignty and empowerment. And I guess to back up a little bit on the money question, because I think so many of us in the helping professions and in the feminine archetype professions, all of these traditional feminine roles that have been underpaid and undervalued in industrial capitalist patriarchy world, you know?
Right. Yeah.
The nursing and the teaching and the childcare goodness. That, you know, I stopped identifying even as a doula a little over 2 years ago, and I was like, yeah, I think I kind of graduated. I'm a medicine woman now. Mm-hmm. And that was a huge part of me moving into self-employment, full-time self-employment, mm-hmm. and like fully claiming my role within a community and feeling good about getting paid. Yeah. Because the reality is, in a culture, in a healthy culture, in a healthy society, in a healthy village, the community gives some of their food and gives some of their resources to the medicine woman, mm-hmm. and comes and fixes her roof when her roof is leaking. Yep. She's not doing the regular labor because she's constantly supporting the health and well-being of the entire community, and of course she's getting fed and housed for that.
Right, and that's exactly what I meant by, like, you know, in traditional spaces, you know, everything on the level is transactional, but it's all kind of horizontal, you know. So there has, you know, and I support it. I totally support it. I mean, for me, it's like I've got my own issues with that, so I'm more comfortable at this juncture existing in the institution and supporting people that way and being supported and having it very directly transactional. And yeah,
like you've bought into the system, and I'm not don't want to demonize that or down talk on it at all.
It's hell, I've already been through all of that.
Whether or not it's good or bad, it's real, right? Like you put in a certain amount of your vital energy and your investment into that system, and you absolutely need to be part of it in order to receive what's coming to you and get nourished and supported in a healthy way. Right. And it's so important that people like you are in that model.
I know.
You know, I happen to have known since I was a teenager that wasn't a space for me to thrive in. And so I've bucked the system and chosen to not get certifications and not get degrees.
And I feel like it's so important for like people who are doing your work, you know, people who don't hold credentials, who are working in a more traditional sense, that we work together and that we ally with each other, and that you have people in the system, which I know you do have plenty of people who are like, who've got their boots on the ground on the linoleum or the frickin' tile floor of the hospital.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then it's so important for us to be able to, like, you know, reach outside and come home to that, and also really be able to, like, reach out and pull in those resources for people, you know, and just provide a more diverse kind of base of knowledge. And it's just so important.
Integrative care. The nature of reality being duality. It's yes and. It's not either or. It's not us versus them. It's us.
Yep.
It's all us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we each have diverse skills. I mean, it was a surprise and a delight to me to have, you know, doctor and nurse midwife friends start calling me for feedback on various patients or clients a couple of years ago, and start realizing, like, oh, I've been studying this for 17 years.
Yeah. It's valuable.
Like, very actively involved and engaged in study and practice of counseling and guidance and support around reproductive and sexual health for myself and my community. And that the folks that have been in the institutions have been, like, given the set of things to study, and they've been focusing on them, and it's almost like a horse with blinders.
Yeah.
And whereas I've been just, like, looking all over the place and just following little threads of curiosity, and it's taken me to this amazing diverse array of information that my colleagues and friends who are in the medical institution have not been exposed to. and the
unless
smart
they
ones
choose it. Yep.
value it. And
Right.
I value the clinical knowledge that they have
Yeah.
and the access to labs
Yeah.
and all of like looking at all of the little classified PubMed studies that I don't have the passwords for.
Right.
And we can help each other out. We just need to communicate.
Yeah.
And not everybody can, you know what I mean? It's like there's different strokes for different folks for a reason. It's not a hierarchy even within that.
Right.
But I do want to bring it back to this just like access and human rights issue, which is why the main reason why I have not pursued credentials is because I have this just deep belief that the information that I have and I want is a human right.
Yeah.
And that institutions have no right to be regulating the circulation of information or commodifying it in a way that makes it inaccessible to every person. And so it's been important for me to do it the like underdog way, sort of, or the organic way, in that anybody could do this, right? Anybody can gain that level of understanding and support. And again, I don't want to say anybody and like not look my privilege in the face and know that I have a tremendous amount of it.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
diverse.
Yep, that's
good. I want to talk
so,
more about Nebraska.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so anybody watching this, I don't know. I know that a lot of people that I know personally are probably going to watch this. But just to, kind of preface, Lincoln is my hometown. And, I moved to Denver, and that's where I planted seeds as, an activist. And that's where I started teaching and facilitating. But I've always come home and, tried to hold space and figure out ways to serve. And I see that community just like, I love Lincoln so much because there's so many, the people are amazing. There's just a ton of really good curiosity and just a lot of support. So for me, it's important to like really make this happen there.
What's this?
This? I keep saying this.
What is it?
Our Skillshare, the womb sovereignty, and so there's been a few different offerings, and I've seen a lot of like herbalists pop up in Lincoln in this community, a lot of healers, a lot of just really fertile energy for this stuff, and a lot of feminine energy, really just taking off in Lincoln. And I know that womb sovereignty is really going to, set things in motion and really provide a catalyst for the really like strong women in the community to root even deeper into their power, root even deeper into their knowledge and their wisdom that they're already cultivating, that's already going on. And really like, there's been a few events that have come along that have really been transformational in the space and like in our community there. And, no matter where I am around the country, Lincoln is always going to be home for me, and I'm always going to be invested, even if it's from a distance or intermittently. And this is my intermittent offering to Lincoln and my way of like trying to give back and trying to support Lincoln and the Lincoln community with more resources, with more opportunities to expand, our wisdom and our knowledge. And it's exciting for me because, I'm bringing in somebody that's outside of the community and has so much more experience than what has been typically available in the Midwest. And bringing somebody like, bringing you in is just really exciting for me because so many people skip us. And we don't get a ton of opportunities to really like to invest in ourselves. And and there are a lot of really amazing like free events and people that want to show up and want to support and provide resources. But I just think that the wealth and the richness of knowledge that you bring to the table is something that we've been really hungry for so long, and it's just a really exciting opportunity. And I'm really excited to see who shows up. I always get, like, whenever I have a workshop or an event going on, especially at the Sage House, which you are going to love the space. I always just get the best people showing up, and I'm always surprised and just really intrigued at the people who choose to come and what gets brought to the table. And it's always so interesting and different every time, and people from all sorts of different backgrounds in the community, and just not your typical like West or East Coast kind of thing. Like the Midwest is just so good, and you've got like just this really good just this basic goodness behind everything that we bring together. So I'm just really excited about it. And
awesome.
Yeah, it'll just be really good. And I'm excited to hear about your about the workshop in Lawrence, because Kansas is, it's different, but it's you'll still get that Midwest experience.
Yeah. And so what's going on so far with all of my dates in the Midwest is that nobody has money.
Right.
I've been getting all these emails from people, and when I set the price of my workshop, it was really not about turning a profit for me.
Right.
It was very much about covering the cost of my gas money, my food, and my supplies. And here I am, kind of like a third of the way through this teaching tour, and needing to put together a crowdfunding video, because I want to share all of this information and these skills and these tools with everybody. And I want to print out my teaching materials and make spiral notebooks and share plant medicines. And I need to drive my car there and put gas in it. And I just want people who need and want the information to have the information, right? That's like my bottom line goal. And so I'm putting the word out on the interwebs that I would like some dollars to teach the folks in the Midwest about womb sovereignty.
Yeah.
Please send. I will put all of the money towards scholarship just to create access. I already have 5 people signed up for the Kansas workshop that have very, very minimal, if not no money available. I have a no one turned away for lack of funds policy. And that may be a horrible, horrible business practice. I need to really look at that.
Yeah, I mean,
I might look at that and shift at some point. But right now, I'm traveling the country in a van, teaching people how to tell when they ovulate, teaching people how to use plant medicine to make sure that their periods come when they don't want to be pregnant, and teaching about this radical self-care act of menstrual extraction, which was developed by our foremothers, Lorraine Rothman, Carol Downer, and is accessible in the book A New View of a Woman's Body. You can Wikipedia it. It's a home remedy for bringing on menstruation. And yeah, it's been really profound. The people that have taken my class in the last few months have called it life-changing, have said it was initiation, and it's so beautiful and profound. And it is not at all about me bestowing wisdom upon the people. It is about me showing up and being a facilitator and a catalyst for the individuals to claim their power and to discover themselves and discover one another in their community so that they can connect with each other. And it is just, I literally just got goosebumps all over myself.
Yeah, I just got really hungry.
You just got hungry.
Yeah, it's just like,
it's such righteous and rewarding work to show up and be able to support people in that. And that is my true joy, is just seeing those sparks ignite and seeing those connections in the web of women be created, where we're like, oh my God, we're really, really strong. and capable
Yeah.
is. And this power that we have to bring life into the world is innate, and we can choose whether or not we want to make people with it, or whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah. The other side of that whole coin is like, oh, this amazing opportunity to be sovereign, right? Like to claim yes or no and to choose.
I wanted to make sure in this little talk that we talked about the sacred yes. So the full body yes, that's a good one. But specifically, so it's been about 2.5 years since I've been to a birth. I miss it. I miss attending births. They're so psychedelic.
Yes.
And other things too. But you know, I was a birth doula for the majority of my 20s, almost 10 years of being on call for birth. And I stopped attending birth in order to deepen my commitment to supporting people who are avoiding or ending their pregnancies, because I feel like that is a massive void, right? The midwifery model of care, the doula model of care, where you actually put the individual in the driver's seat and give them holistic tools and talk to them about their feelings and talk to them about their nutrition and pain coping mechanisms and look at the whole picture, is so hugely missing when we're having conversations about contraception and abortion.
Right. And it's just as crucial to our ecology and survival as a species and our health and the big picture as support during birth is. Absolutely. If not more so, I can make the argument.
If not more, because the vast majority of humans with uteruses on the planet right now are avoiding pregnancy.
Right.
Straight up. Like, that's just what it is.
Yep.
But there's this pervasive and oppressive, painful reality with contraception and abortion, is that most people are making decisions rooted in fear.
Right.
They're making decisions that are completely rooted in this fear and energy of no,
Yeah.
no, fear, no fear.
Yeah. Yes.
So right. This is important, right? Because without the ability to say no, our yes means nothing.
Right.
And our ability to say no is a very important and healthy skill and right as people with uteruses. However, what I really, really love to teach about and reflect back to people and like pull out of their consciousnesses and their hearts, both in client work and when I'm teaching, is identifying what is the yes, what is the sacred yes when you are choosing to avoid a pregnancy or end a pregnancy, when you're engaging with making a decision around your contraception or your abortion. There's the no. Absolutely, you're saying no. But you're saying no because there's something you're saying yes to.
Right.
You're not just saying no for no reason.
Yeah.
And so really being able to claim the yes, identify what it is that you're saying yes to, and articulate it, and put your vital energy into that. Put your fertile energy, your creative energy, and fully engage with that sacred yes. Because that's the love, right? Without being totally reductionist hippie and being like, everything is fear or love. All decisions are made out of fear or love.
Right. But saying yes to the no.
There's something completely different about making a decision that is rooted in your love of the thing that is the sacred yes when you're avoiding a pregnancy or ending a pregnancy. Like, you're not just avoiding or ending pregnancies willy-nilly because you don't like babies. Maybe some people don't like babies, but most people that I know that are engaged in some kind of contraception or abortion, like, adore children, adore babies, and it's not what they need to be doing with their vital creative energy right now.
Yeah. And so, it is much, like, very much saying yes to maybe it's ourselves, maybe it's our future, maybe it's our ecology, maybe it's the bigger picture, and like dismantling the shame around saying yes to yourself, dismantling the shame around saying yes to your community and your ecology, and being able to say, and the shame we have around saying the full body no, or the affirmative no.
Yeah.
And you see that so much in birth of people giving birth, saying no to certain choices that aren't choices a lot of the time, saying no to interventions, or saying no to interruption, or whatever it is, and coming from a place of either fear of that thing, or like a yes to themselves, and a yes to their autonomy, and a yes to the ecology, or what they want to respect and maintain, or whatever it is. But yep, I'm on board.
Yeah, and it's such a huge essence of what I'm teaching also in these 2-day workshops that I'm teaching 8 of them over the course of the summer all over the country. And it's about promoting menstruation.
Yeah.
And promoting ovulation and a healthy cycle.
Yeah.
It's about saying yes to engaging in this healthy, creative cycle that is our menstrual cycle, which is a microcosm of the macrocosm of all creation.
Yeah.
And,
well, and that's
and it's not about living in the fear.
Right.
Yeah, it's okay. It's very, very different than engaging in fear of pregnancy and being like, no pregnancy, no baby, no baby. Oh my God, no, 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 no. It's like, yes, I love ovulating.
Yeah.
like that's been my one-liner, because I've been a nanny, I've been a birth doula, and I adore babies. I love being with babies, taking care of them, and people have been asking me. I feel like for the last 12 or 13 years, somebody has asked me when or if I'm having children, every other day. Multiple times a day, which is it's so none of your business what I do with my uterus and my vagina. Why is everybody asking me about this? But for a long time, I would say babies are an option, not a goal. I have other goals. That was my very serious answer.
Yeah.
And I've kind of relaxed into a little more playful answer lately, which is just I'm just having so much fun ovulating. I just want to keep ovulating.
Oh, that's so good.
It's really fun. It is.
I just feel
really
any way we can tear down that false dichotomy of having babies or not having babies, or being a parent or being childless, or any of that, the fake war going on, the better. I mean, we've got to just. I'm so tired
we all
of it.
Take responsibility for each other's children, even if we didn't make them. Is the reality.
I'm just so fucking tired of that conversation. It's not even a real conversation to me.
Yeah. I was just talking to a friend who's in his mid-40s, and he was like, I'm starting to maybe regret not having children. I'm maybe I messed up there. Go get one. Plenty of your friends have kids, and they need you.
Right.
They need your love and attention, and your friends that have kids need your support.
Yes. And I need my childless friends around me. I need.
It's so important. Honestly, I try not to should on people, with decisions and I should do whatever. But I think that whether or not we're having children, we all need to behave as if we have children and engage with children constantly.
Ecology.
It's so important.
Yeah.
And I can't even, we need intergenerational friends. I mean, this is tangential a bit, but it's still again, it needs to just this isolation, the nuclear family reality. We need to break it down. We need to be taking care of each other.
That was the number one contributor to my 2-year bout of postpartum depression, and the lack of support that I got from my childless friends, and the isolation even within a community. And just not having that infrastructure, not having that paradigm of aunties, and really feeling lonely, feeling young and alone, and a brand new mama and trying to give birth to myself without support. There's a whole psychological, spiritual element to it that I didn't have a doula for, and that lasted a lot longer than the birth process. And it was this huge transition, and nobody facilitated it for me, and it was really just devastating, and I was very angry and very just very angry with where the world had gotten and what our culture's become, and just very fucking
this reminds
angry.
me of a quote from this woman, Wendy Sharp, who founded Baby Blues Connection. I'm pretty sure, I haven't looked recently, I've been out of the birth world for a while. Are you familiar? I think it's a national hotline.
Okay.
That's like postpartum depression support. It's based in Portland. And I remember in my birth doula internship, we had a session with her speaking about postpartum depression. And I was just like reeling with the reality of isolation and how unrealistic and unhealthy our expectations are of new postpartum moms.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you engage with this world and this topic and how are you not angry all the time?
Yeah.
And she just flippantly, she's like, well, I used to be angry and now I'm just busy. I'm like, okay. But I mean, I don't know, it just reminds me, and I have a blog post about this oh my God, it was almost 2 years ago now. I went to take care of my sister postpartum and my little baby nephew, Jasper, in Vienna, Austria.
Yeah.
And in Vienna, Austria, there is the International Museum of Contraception and Abortion.
Which is amazing.
And I guess, I'd already been an abortion activist, an abortion doula, et cetera, and I'd already been a birth doula, and I'd hung out with postpartum moms, but it wasn't until I was living in the home for almost 3 weeks of a postpartum mom, and like engaged in the sleep cycle, diaper changing, feeding, just like, it was really, really beautiful, and we became like a Hindu deity goddess, like multi-armed creature, my sister and I, and it was lovely synergy, but it was painful for both of us. She was straight up suffering, and she loved her baby and wanted that baby so bad. She always wanted babies. It was a planned pregnancy, and she loved that child, and she was still suffering. It was still horrible, and it was just being in that energy that I was like, that would be so torturous if you didn't want this child.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine, like, living this life of basically slavery and servitude to this little creature if you didn't desperately desire to devote yourself.
Or even plan for it.
To it, exactly. Yeah. And just nobody deserves that. Yeah. Nobody deserves to be a mother, to have a baby who doesn't truly desperately want it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I could go down that rabbit hole and stay there for a long time.
Please, parenthood.
Yeah.
Did you have a time idea of like when you wanted to aim for?
Well, we've been on for an hour.
Or any other good topics that you want to make sure that we touch on?
I did not come with a list.
You didn't make a list? You didn't make notes?
Not at all. No, I didn't. I knew that I had total faith.
Yeah, I think the sacred yes was one of the main things, and the ask. I wanted to make sure that we had some sort of an ask that was like, hey guys, let's make some scholarships for the Midwesterners.
Yeah, absolutely.
Want to come and can't pay for my gas money and pay for my teaching materials.
Well, and I want to make sure that I include an invitation. Like, the thing is, like, yes, there's a reality behind not having the money in the Midwest, that a lot of the Midwesterners just don't have the money. There's also another reality of we're not in the habit of investing that money into ourselves.
Invest in yourself and each other.
Yeah, and investing in the community in a big way through your own skill set and training and empowerment right?
Yeah.
And so, like, really seeing this as an investment, really seeing it as an opportunity to, like, choose and say yes in a big way. And maybe that's financially, you know. And for me, I know, like, when I want something, I have the opportunities and privilege to be able to, like, make it a goal, set the intention, and create the means to do so. I know a lot of other people do too, and we're going to make it so that
We have a
if
whole
you really
month
believe
if
that
people
you
want to
don't,
come.
right? Like, if you really do, like, if you're, like, really totally in the reality of not being able to, like, there's opportunity. There's right.
Yeah.
Like, there's still, like, we're not ruling out any opportunities. However, like, if you really
get some money together.
like, mobilize. Like, this is an invitation for people to really, like, set an intention and mobilize in like, and use that fertile energy to create the opportunity for themselves, because it can happen. And this is like, this is an entry point. I see this as, like, you and I have had these profound entry points, and this is an opportunity for other people to make similar entry points or continue on their journey and really push them ahead in a huge way, wherever they're at. So I just, that's the part I want to include, is just really encouraging, my hometown to take advantage of the spaces that are available to them and show up and do it. And because it'll be so good. And I know that I've invited a lot of people to Aline's, to the Sage House. What an incredible space and an incredible resource that we have there.
The eclipse is that weekend also. So
what is
it's
the souls?
The eclipse.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
There's going to be some potent energy going down.
And it's such a beautiful feminine space, and we're going to be sharing meals and breathing together, and it'll just be really good.
It's it's a good time.
Yeah. I'm just thrilled and excited.
I'm really excited, and I'm also just really excited to hang out with you off of a screen some more.
Yeah.
Because, how many? It's been like 2 years, maybe?
No, because when you and I first started talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a couple. And because I was already out in South Dakota.
Yeah.
And then we finally got together and got to hang out naked together in Los Angeles, which was so good.
Yeah, of course we did.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah. So I'm excited to sleep in the bell tent and just get juicy.
Okay, everybody.
All right.
What else?
Well,
we do it?
No, I think we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I guess for folks that are watching that may or may not be in Lincoln, Nebraska, or Detroit, Michigan, or Lawrence, Kansas, I'm also teaching in Hudson, New York. That's my Eastern trajectory. I'm working to make this information more available online in general, and I can definitely do individual Skype sessions with anybody who wants this information. Please reach out. Stay connected. I have a newsletter. I have an Instagram. I got the Facebook. I've been slacking on the Facebook, but I've been doing a lot of Instagramming lately. And my website is my name. It's samanthazipporah.com. And yeah, I'm just hoping that folks connect. And it's not about connecting with me or like my business. It's about I really want to help everybody claim their power and set this on fire.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's just like such a beautiful and powerful thing to be able to actually own your fertility and your sexuality as a source of power, as something that you are doing, as something that you are, rather than something that is happening to you or has been done to you. And we're flipping that paradigm, and we're doing that work, and you and I are doing it.
We got to do it together.
And so it's an invitation to everybody to do that work in big or little ways, to be it, to do it, instead of having it happen to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to link to everywhere you are, and we'll make sure that everybody can sign up if they want to, and we'll get it on. We'll get it going.
Thank you so much for your time
Thank you,
and
lady.
your work in the belly of the beast.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Stay
Ah,
hydrated.
thank you.
Call me
You know
anytime.
what? I'm getting good sleep. I'm exercising. I'm getting plenty of protein. I'm taking my
You look
vitamins. It's all
great.
good.
You look like you're doing well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not, I got burnt to a crisp last like
Mhm.
November, December, just totally burnt out because I was working straight nights. You were there. I mean, I was talking to you on the phone a lot and it was just bad. It
Right.
was really bad.
Well, because
But
LA was the hinge.
oh my
Was
gosh,
the
yeah, that's right because LA was the end of that. That was the bookend of me working nights. Yep, and I was toast.
makes a big difference to be awake when it's light and asleep when it's
I am a solar
for health.
powered human being.
Yep.
Yep. So, no, it's better. I feel better. This
Okay.
will be good.
Yep.
I'm
I think we
excited
should
to
snooze
eat
forever.
with you.
We should
Yeah,
think
I
about
know.
we're probably gonna eat really good food.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
potluck both days of the Skillshare also,
Yeah.
which is, a good oxy.
Yeah. Good, just good ecology, fermentation, all of it. And for some reason, I lost you.